What it do, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Star Podsplash. This is episode 5, man. Yo, we are being consistent, man. Time flies. I didn't even know I was on episode 5. I almost titled this episode 4. Welcome in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Star Podsplash. I am your host, Andre Harris. And yo, today we got a lot to cover, a lot to talk about, because we're not just talking about this week's comic books. We are also going to be reviewing well, not really reviewing, but just previewing the movies coming out this July 2025. Also, we're going to be talking some video games, Marvel Rivals to be exact. You know, we get a new character every month. So this is my wish list for the top 10 X-Men and X-Women. I got that also on the dock today, along with episode 1 of the Ironheart review. And then we are going to cut the lights off for a bonus overtime feature, which will be exclusive on one channel. And with that, we'll be reviewing the new anime series that are coming out. So make sure to check that out. If you are an anime head, that will be the last segment we cover, because it's quite a few anime that we got to go over. But we are going to start this with the trademark this week's comic books. We got some new comic books coming out this Wednesday, July 9th. And you know what I have to do every time. It's the artist in me. I got to break down my favorite covers, original and variant, for that week. With that being said, let's get into the honorable mentions. So, you know, first thing we always do is we break out the honorable mentions. And these are the 5 best. Almost make the top 10, but they just quite didn't make it. Coming in number 5, we got Trinity, the daughter of Wonder Woman. And whoa, was that? I thought that was the honorable mention. No, Free Planet. Okay, I put the wrong cover. My fault. Let's see here. Let me remove that. My fault. Epic fail to start us off. Unless I'm on. All right, no, I'm on the right week. Let's see here. Honorable mentions for this week. Original. We are already starting off shaky, man. Honorable mention number 3. We got Free Planet issue number 3. Let's take a look at this cover. I like it, man. You know, it's out there in space. You got the 2 ships battling it out. Oh boy over here maneuvering the bigger ship, blasting off on them and everything. You know what I'm saying? Got the nitro in the background. It's nicely colored and everything. Got like a color pencil type of color stylistic to it. I rock with it. Let's see here. Coming in, and that was Free Planet issue number 3. Let's get the image up right. Let's get it right, Dre. Get it right, Dre. Let's see here. I think I did mess up. Now that I'm looking at these, yeah, I put the wrong covers. Yikes. No bueno. What am I doing, Dre? Get right, Dre. Oh man, and I'm taking off the previous image. Coming in number 4, we got Farmhand. Farmhand, yo, this remind me of the Boondocks right here. I ain't gonna hold you, Farmhand. It reminded me of like Stinkmeaner. If Stinkmeaner was like a little girl possessed. Like, ain't too much going on, but I really like the stylization. I really like the expression the detail to the expression in this one. Got that horror type of vibe to it and everything like that. I ain't ever read Farmhand, so I don't know what it's about, but it does look very interesting based off this. Look like a horror genre type of book. I would definitely pick this up at the comic book store if I seen it on the shelf, open it up. And based on the artwork, I might give it a shot or not. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm one of those people who like big on the artwork. So if the artwork's good, I'm definitely gonna take a look at it. Coming in number 3, we got Spider-Man, or really Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 35. I like this right here. It gives me that Disney Hercules stylization. It's pretty dope right here. Hercules and Ares going at your boy Miles. And it's really the stylization for me for this one. The side Egyptian theme and everything. I'm really digging it. Like the little border work and everything as well. That's fire to me. Honorable mention number 2, we got Transformers issue 22. Issue 22 of Transformers. I'm really digging this cover right here, yo. It got the Transformer looking through the he's like looking through the window at the soldiers and everything who are basically in panic mode and everything. So that's a dope. You got soldiers checking on their wounded allies and everything, peeping out the window, bro. There ain't nothing they're gonna be able to do with that Transformer. Come on now. Let's be real. There ain't nothing y'all gonna be able to do with that Transformer. Let's be real, bro. Coming in number 1, honorable mention. These ain't even the top 10, but these are some good covers, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. Shout out to all the artists. Conan, the Savage Sword of Conan, issue number 9. Look at the artwork on that. Look at the detail. That's really nice right there. I'm rocking with it. I like it. That is some nice artwork right there. We're going to get into the top 10 now. Best covers coming out this week. It's not to say the book's going to be the best necessarily, but as far as that cover goes, if we base it off the cover alone, these are my opinion top 10. Coming in number 10, we got Beneath the Trees Nobody Sees, issue number 1. Let me pull that up for y'all right now. This cover, y'all gonna probably say that the Savage Sword of Conan's better, but man, I like the concept of this. There's a story going on in this picture. It makes me intrigued. Like, even though this isn't necessarily my type of art stylization, I'm intrigued. I want to see what this book's about. I definitely want to pick this book up, read this book. What did this bear do? Who did he do it to? Is he gonna get away with it? Yo, fire, bro. So that's a dope cover for me. Shout out to the independent artists, yo, out here cooking. Coming in number 9 on the list, best covers of the week in my opinion, just my personal preference. We got Predator Black and White and Blood, issue number 1. And that right there, yo, that look very nice. I ain't gonna hold you. That's looking very, very nice, yo. Shout out to the artist. This remind me of the artist. I'm pretty sure this is the same artist who recently worked on one of the Batman books. I can't recall which one it was, if it was Batman and Robin. I want to say it was Batman and Robin. Definitely looks like the same artist, same type of positioning and format he usually typically does, which is why I'm able to kind of spot it out. It's dope, but I've seen him do a very similar image with his previous run on like the Batman and Robin. He wasn't holding the skull or nothing, but just the way he does his layouts. And they are nice, don't get me wrong, but when you've seen it done previously, you're like, all right, kind of switch it up a little bit, Coming in number 8, we got Uncanny X-Men issue number 17. And yo, this one right here, this one's a vibe to it, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. New character, I'm assuming. Not sure the name of the character at this moment, but I definitely want to check out this book. She's featured on all the covers, all the variant covers and whatnot. I don't think too many made the top 10 or honorable mention, but there is one that did. I don't think she's shown on that cover. She's like a silhouette on the cover, similar to this one, but man, the vibe, the red pupils with everything else perfectly shaded with the blood splatter, the door going into like the down, into the basement. Yo, I'm rocking with this one. This is fire. I'm assuming she's Latina since they put Mutina, like as a pun on, mutant, but Latino, mutant, etc. So that's pretty cool right there. I'm rocking with it. Coming in number 7, we got Conan the Barbarian issue number 22. Let's take a look at that. This is a pretty badass cover right here. It's just a classic cover you would expect from a Conan the Barbarian series. Conan over here slashing somebody up, drawing blood. Oh boy, getting work. Conan giving that boy that work right now, So that is definitely a fire series right there. Coming in number 6, we got Star Wars Legacy of Vader issue number 6. Star Wars always got some good covers, man. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm definitely a Star Wars fan of the movies and whatnot. Not too much the recent Disney. I was a fan of like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. I really haven't watched anything of Star Wars content on there since. I did try to get into Boba Fett. That was like the last one. I really wasn't feeling it. That kind of was the one that turned me off because I was underwhelmed by it. But man, great artwork. Star Wars Legacy of Vader, Kylo Ren over here on the cover. Like the detail with the background and everything with the snow. That's badass. Coming in at number 5 on the list, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Menace Nation issue number 8. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's pretty sweet right there. I ain't gonna hold you. I like the paint job on it. Not sure who this character is. I'm not sure who any of these characters on this is, to be quite frank with you. But but the artwork, I can't deny the artwork. The artwork is clean and definitely deserving of its spot number 5 on the list. Coming in number 4, we got the Fantastic Four. No pun intended. I didn't do that just because they're number 4. That's just where they ended up naturally placing this week. And this Fantastic Four First Steps issue 1. It's basically getting you ready for the movie that's coming out later this month. And I guess they have a slightly different origin story, which this will go into explaining. A part of me almost didn't put this on the list because I wasn't sure if they traced anything with the Pedro and old girl's face or whatnot, but it does look really nice. So I did want to, just in case they didn't. But yeah, it kind of did make me kind of border on if I was going to put this on the list. In the end, I ended up in good faith putting it on the list. Coming in number 3, bronze medal for best cover of the week, July 9th. We got Blood Type issue number 2. And on that, this is just a beautiful cover. You got the water with the blood in the water, with the water fading into the blood. Yeah, with the blood fading into the water, with the sharks in the background. A shark underwater, I mean a vampire, not a shark underwater, duh. A vampire underwater. Somebody might clip that, but I don't got enough viewers for that. But anyway, a vampire underwater buying an unsuspecting female in the bikini. Great artwork. It's just beautifully done. Shout out to the artist. Coming in number 3. And it was all independent artists for the best covers this week. So again, shout out to the independent artists putting a neck down on the big 3 if you want to count Image. Coming in number 2, we got Godzilla. Here Comes the Aliens issue number 2. And look at this cover. That is a clean cover right there, man. That is beautiful. The detail on Godzilla alone was just ridiculous, man. I almost put the other one before, and I kind of still on the fence because there's just a little bit more going on. But the detail on this is just so dang good. I was just like, you know what, I gotta give it the nod. But number one best cover, in my opinion, hands down this week, we got the Toxic Avengers comics issue number one. This cover is a thing of beauty. This is the original cover too, so you haven't got to pay extra for a variant edition or anything like that. This is what you're gonna see when you first hit that comic book store, if they got it. That is a sick ass cover, man. He's up in the lab, hands bloody, the monster. I was about to say a Cyclops, but he got a second eyeball right there. It's just like all the way to the side, little one ear. Yo, like this is just dope, bro. So shout out to the artist, the Toxic Avengers comics issue number one, best comic book cover of the week in my opinion, man. I'm gonna give that a second to just marvel in its beauty as we transition over to the best comic book variant covers coming out this week. Before we do, we got our honorable mentions coming in. Number 5, we got Trinity, the daughter of Wonder Woman, issue number 2. Let's get into those variants real quick. This is what I accidentally put up initially. Bada bing, that's adorable. Like that artwork. Dig that. It's like a mix of anime and American. I really dig it. Love the artwork on the dog. Love the expression on the kid and whatnot. It's Wonder Woman, but she kind of feels like she's dressed more like a Robin, at least from what I'm seeing with the yellow cape, the green. Like, I don't know, but I'm liking it. Sweet. I didn't even realize other dog in the background too. Damn, I feel bad now, man. One dog was getting all the attention, hogging all the spotlight. Coming in number 4, honorable mention, we got Transformers issue number 22. Man, we had so many really good variant covers this week that when you see some of these honorable mentions, you're like, these ain't in the top 10. Like, that's how crazy the top 10 for variants is. It always is stacked on the variant side. Transformers always usually making the top 10 or at least an honorable mention, man. They usually deliver on their covers. This week, Supergirl really cleaned up. They were cooking with their covers. They variant for this week. Honorable mention number 3. We got Supergirl issue number 3. That cover right there, man. I really like the detail into this, man. The way they did the planet with the sunrise, with the story planet or like the little meteors or rocks, however you want to, whatever it is that she's standing on with the cape. Yo, I don't know if it's because of how close she is to the sun, but yeah, I think it's more so that the way they did the lighting, it's just so well done, man. So shout out to the artist for that. Honorable mention number 2, we got the Ultimate Spider-Man Inclusion issue number 2. That cover right there. Let me pull that up real quick. Let's see here. Honorable mention number 2. Bam, we got the Ultimate Spider-Man Inclusion 2. Hey, yo, that is hard. You can't tell me that ain't hard. All 3 Spider-Mans. All right, we got Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I'm guessing this is Spider-Boy. Yeah, Spider-Boy. Uh, dig in the background. I like this type of artwork. This stylization is fire to me. That's just clean. I'm a big Spider-Man guy too, so that's definitely one of those ones. Definitely one of those ones. Shout out to the artists on that. Coming in number 1, honorable mention, we got another Supergirl issue 3 variant. This variant clean, bro. Some people will be like, man, this should have been in the top 10 if at the very least, man. But yo, like, look at the detail. This look like it could be a card right here. That looked like it could have been like a DC Comics card right there. Shout out to the artist. It looked like when you go to the Comic Con, there's the artists who be having these pinups of like all the characters and whatnot. Look like one of his pieces of work. They're really good. That is very well done anime, like a hybrid, but he definitely got that anime inspired to it, especially with the pose that they chose. Let's get into the top 10 variant covers of the week. We're about to get these honorable mentions up out of here. Let me move these out the way so I could make space for the originals. Coming in at number 10, we got Red Hulk issue number 6. Red Hulk issue number 6 coming in number 10. And yo, that is clean right there, bro. That is badass. Yo, the werewolf with the armor and everything. I don't know this character's name, but yo, that look clean right there. That look hard. Damn, it looked like Kano from Mortal Kombat turned into a werewolf with the little metal with the red eye right there. That's clean. Coming in at number 9, we got Death or Planet Death issue number 9. Planet Death issue number 9. Clean right there, yo. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Look very realistic. The watercolors. I'm forgetting my man's name right now, man, but he is a beast. He's a beast. I remember he did Batman, Superman. Your boy is filthy with his artwork, man. I've seen his process before too. He's just one of them next level artists, bro. I'm so mad I'm forgetting his name off rip. Coming in number 8, we got Batman Gotham by Gaslight issue number 1. And let's see here. Let's see what that looked like. The detail on the Superman is what really got this one for me. I'm liking the Batman too, don't get me wrong, but that Superman really did it for me. That is fire. Great artwork. The concept for this one gave it the slight edge over the Batman for me, and that's Uncanny X-Men issue 17 variant coming in at number 7. It's like the I want to say this is from Scary Movie. They did like a Scary Movie with X-Men with the paint. Just fire to me, bro. That's sick. Coming in at number 6, we got Supergirl issue number 3. Like I said, Supergirl was just all over the top 10 this week. Shout out to all the artists who commissioned for Supergirl. I believe this is the last time you will see Supergirl on the list. But yeah, that is, man, the cat really did it for me with this one. I ain't gonna hold you. The detail on that cat won me over. Fire. For all my goons, coming in at number 5, we got Marvel Swimsuit Special issue number 1. And I'm surprised because there's a lot of J. Scott Campbell covers, but none of them actually made the list, actually. But this one did. Shout out to the artist for this. This Mary Jane just slightly edged out the Supergirl, man. They just did such a great job on Mary Jane with this picture right here, man. Just really take me back to as a kid from the 90s. I do recall the original Marvel Swimsuit book back in the day. As a kid, I was like 8, 9 years old when that thing came out, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. As a little goon. It's a little gooner then. I was an older gooner now. We see this is like, yeah, that's great artwork right there. Coming in at number 4, we got the Savage Sword of Conan, issue number 9. Let's pull that up real quick for y'all. Bam. That is clean artwork right there. That is sweet. So yeah, shout out to the artist who did that. That is some beautiful artwork right there. Coming in number 3, we got Conan the Barbarian issue number 22. I was really on the fence with this one because, man, this initially was my number one. Then it dropped to my number two. But by the time of the recording, it dropped to number three, Conan the Barbarian. This just reminds me of Sam Keith artwork right here, who was one of my absolute favorite artists growing up. I need some water. I'm over here getting cottonmouth. Great depiction of Conan. Love the detail, the color work on this right here. The blood on the blade, the little enchantress chick over there. I'm thinking she's basically mind controlling them. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, that is just firework in my opinion. Coming in number 2, we got Batman and Robin. I put the wrong symbol for it, but oh well. Batman and Robin, issue number 23. Amazing artwork on this Batman and Robin. Let me get it up on the screen so y'all can see, man. It got a who's who on this cover. We got everyone from Catwoman to Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Batman and Robin. Trying to see if there's anybody else up in there. Nah, that's pretty much it. That's a fire cover right there, bro. Shout out to DC. Some people might have that as their number one, and I would not be mad if they said, yo, Dre, you tripping, that should be number one. Or if they said that about Conan the Barbarian. I ain't gonna hold you. Either of those as your number one, I would not be mad at. But me personally, coming in number one, even though it's a homage, man, they did an amazing homage for Fantastic Four issue number 1. This variant cover of a classic Galactus cover just looks amazing. The detail in each of the Fantastic Four, the detail in Galactus and the Silver Surfer, the explosion, everything, man, is just so on the money, bro. Shout out to the artist, bro. You did that, bro. Amazing job. So yeah, we got a lot of great covers coming out this week. So make sure, I can't stress it enough, go out there, support your local comic book shops, your local, even if you can't get to a local comic shop, go online, but support the comic book industry, man. We need to support because, man, anime, they thrive in. There's not enough channels that do positive reviews on comic books or letting y'all know what's coming out in comic books and telling you good things about it. Everybody's too busy complaining, oh, this person was... The way you hear about comic books, when you rarely do hear about it, but the way you mainly hear about it, you would think every single last comic book has been race swapped, gender swapped, sex swapped. But every week for the past 5 weeks that we've been doing this, I haven't seen any of those. So it's like, damn, like they find that one in like, and there's like a lot of comic books that come out, bro. Like every week there's about anywhere from 30 to 60 comic books that come out on an average, and there's probably one, if that, one, not one, if that, there's probably one or two, if that, per week that you might see a character who's like, if you want to constantly count Miles Morales, all right. If you want to count, you know what I'm saying, like the one, it's not that big of a deal, bro, to the way people make it out. So that is the comic book. Shout out to all the comic book creators, the artists, the writers, the inkers, the colorists, the storyboard, the people who do the text writing, the publishers, the editors, because there's a lot of work that goes into creating these comic books and these works of art. So salute to each and every last one of the people who do that, because they definitely deserve to get some good publicity, bro, instead of they work just constantly being bashed. It's like these people trying to make a living, so at the end of the day, definitely got to give these people some love, some recognition, and some attention, some good publicity, as opposed to just constantly complaining and bad publicity. There's definitely some good stuff out there as well. You just got to know where to look, and that's what I'm here for, to bring some attention, to know where to look. Before we get into the games, You know what? Let's go ahead and keep it rocking with the top 10 format, I guess, for now. We're going to go ahead and get into the top 10. We got Marvel Rivals. Shout out to Marvel Rivals. For everybody who does play Marvel Rivals, I'm a Marvel Rivals player myself. I got a lot of friends who play Marvel Rivals. And man, we got like 7 of us. So even when there's more of us than you can make a team, but it's 6 people to a team. Make sure if y'all ain't got that Marvel Rivals to get up on it because it is getting good. They just switched it up to where battle passes are only 2 months long now. You get a new stage every month, a new character every month. They already announced Jean Grey and Blade for the first 2 months. So July 11th, just next week, 5 days. In 5 days, we will be getting Jean Grey. And then next month from there, we will be getting Blade. So after that, it's anybody's ball game who will be arriving on Marvel Rivals. But with that speculation, with them having that entire catalog of Marvel to go from, I figured it's time to do a fantasy draft of who I would like to be in Marvel Rivals. But since there's so many, I figure we're going to break it down every episode, every week. We'll do 1 or 2 top 10 with the honorable mention Marvel Rival characters we would like to see added in different categories. For this first one, since I do come from X-Men, that was my introduction into comic books in general. I figure we're going to start with the X-Men. And since it's the first time doing this, we're going to do 2 top 10 my personal wish list for Marvel Rivals X-Men characters. I got the top 10 X-Men women, and then I got my top 10 X-Men men. We're going to start it off with the women. Top 10 for Marvel Rivals with the women. Coming in at number 5, honorable mention. I would like to see Hope Summers because, I would like to see a mix. I don't want to just throw all old X-Men in there, even though I primarily do come from the X-Men era, from the 90s and whatnot, and early in the 2000s, early 2000s, 2010s. I would like to see some of the newer characters also implemented into these games and whatnot. So with that being said, here are some of my personal picks for that. Getting into the women, Hope Summers, just bring her up on the stage. The girl who started the whole X-Men versus Avengers crossover, the girl Cable sought to seek after the mutants no more went down and everything, the first mutant to basically recover from the after effects of Wanda Witch basically wiping out all mutants from existence. She brought hope back to the mutant race, really transforming Cyclops in the process. That was the only good thing, in my opinion, to come from that whole thing, was the whole, different characters switch for Cyclops, just because of how long he's been alive. Is kind of gives him a different, it's like watching a character, like a pro wrestler, have like an epic heel turn or babyface switch. Honorable mention number 4, another newer character, and that's May Storm from the new Ultimate X-Men. Another weather manipulator, and I really do dig, honestly, the art style that they do with her. I'm forgetting old girl's name right now. Peach Momoko has some great work with old girl May Storm right now. The only reason she didn't make my top 10 and got an honorable mention as opposed to top 10 is we already got a Storm, and she's basically Diet Storm. Same reason I want to probably put a War Machine or like a U.S. agent directly into like my top 10, is there just isn't too much of a differentiation between them. And there are exceptions to that, but for her, she just wasn't one of the ones that, made that really differentiation for me. Coming in number 3, X-Woman I would like to see, honorable mention, put into Marvel Rivals. We got Siren, the daughter of Banshee. It would be dope to have like a screaming character. Another reason she was higher up, I think she was in my top 10 initially, right before I finalized this, but the reason she dropped out is because, man, this last season has been a fly heavy season, and it kind of makes me want to minimize the flyers you got to deal with, man, because flyers is so annoying in Marvel Rivals unless you either make their health really low or we find a way to mitigate the flyers, because right now it's just too much looking up and whatnot, and it's just it could be troublesome. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. It could be real bothersome having to deal with too many flyers. And the more every time you introduce a new character, people gravitate to them. So if you introduce a new character, it's just gonna make it a fly season. So the less flyers you introduce, the less you ain't got to worry about the season being a fly heavy season. So it did drop her into an honorable mention. Coming in number 2, we got Moonstar. Would be dope to have a Native American character into the season. And another thing that kind of dropped her off, but it kind of a reason I did want to have her in there to begin with, is you would have another crossbow character, a female one at that, Native American at that. But in the end, it just wasn't enough. We already got a Hawkeye, so like it's cool. But it would have been cool to have her up in there, especially for, like every character don't gotta be for you, bro. Everything does not have to be pander towards you, bro. And you ain't gotta accuse Marvel of, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they're being woke because they feature someone who is a female or who is a Native American, black, etc., etc. Bro, like, damn, because there are people, don't think that you're the only people who consume this stuff. There are people who for the longest have been watching the stuff who are been females, blacks, Asians, Native Americans, Hispanics, Middle Eastern, all across the world. Everybody, this is a worldwide thing. Yeah, you did start it and whatnot. I'll give you your shit. You started it. But everybody partakes in this. I mean, Marvel Rivals is made from China. So, like, I mean, yeah, we should celebrate these cultures outside of just your average. I have to say average because it isn't the norm, but it's just, outside of the race that started being white, So anyway, coming in number 1, we got Blink for the honorable mention. Blink was the honorable mention. I thought Blink was in the top 10. You know what? Blink, I guess, got dropped to honorable mention because I figured play-wise, it would get really annoying. She would bust the game in some way because she's Nightcrawler on crack. Nightcrawler could teleport himself at most 1 or 2 people without it doing a lot of damage to him. It does a little bit of damage to the other people too, if I'm not mistaken. I know, especially with the smoke and the way he teleports, but he has difficulty transporting large groups of people at once. Like, he could do it, but he has difficulty doing it. As to where Blink, she just throws open like portals, similar to Doctor Strange. That's her mutant ability. So she would be Doctor Strange on crack with that ability to just teleport and transport people. And like, yeah, that would just be a issue, bro. So after like thinking about it in hindsight, I was like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, we don't need Blink into the game necessarily, especially when I started breaking down the other people who actually did make the top 10 X-women for the game. Coming in our top 10s, we got Domino. And one of the things that kind of hurt Domino over even a Blink or a Moonstar or even a Siren, damn near everybody on this list, but I still put her on there, is her moveset. Like, I'm just going to have a little bit of difficulty. What exactly is her moveset? It's similar to a long shot, her power, how he has luck. They both kind of like operate on luck to a certain degree. So it's just like, how do you really display that into a video game? If anything, she'd probably have to be a strategist, and her luck basically is extended to her comrades and whatnot, because I just don't really see how you display that. I mean, she got some combat, so she could have a gun for like to shoot people, but then basically like her luck could basically assist in other ways. She got the pouch, so maybe she could throw like smoke grenades to help people assist in that way, in other ways. But I was just having a hard time thinking really of like a proper move set for her. But what put her in the top 10, she's been heavily featured in the Deadpool movie. She got relationships with Deadpool, Cable. She's an X Force. So if you have enough X Force people, you could end up throwing up in there with as like having enough people to make an all X Force team. So that's why she ended up making out the list. Another newer character that would have to make the list, especially with the movies and in the comic books, she's been making waves. Is X-23, daughter of Wolverine, Laura Kinney. I would definitely not mind seeing her up in there. Another thing that kind of hurt her, put her low on the listing, more so is just how she's too similar to Wolverine. So she play very Wolverine diet again, you know. So she play very similar to Wolverine. Be cool for some girls. I mean, some people might even want a skin, but some people might complain if you do a skin gender swapping them. But I, either way, I wouldn't be mad at it, whichever way you want to do it. But Laura Kinney as her own character. If you were to do it, have a daughter son team up, I could see that as well. Definitely a lot of skins for her, especially the one from the movie would be fire too. So I'd be all for it. Coming in number 8, we got the Dazzler, and what really put Dazzler on this list for me, man, the nostalgia from that old X-Men arcade and the old X-Men animation that they did way back in the day prior to the 90s X-Men. They had a old school X-Men that they ran a pilot episode for that featured Dazzler up in it. That was really cool. Kind of mad they never did nothing with that, but if they did, we went and got the classic that we did in the 90s. So everything, I guess, happens for a reason. But Dazzler, one of those people I would not mind seeing getting some spotlight, some return as well. Coming in number 7, we got Polaris, daughter of Magneto. That would definitely be cool to see her up in the game. Get some X Factor characters up in the game. X Factor never really get any love. It'd be dope to get X Factor thrown up in there. Can't recall if she's related to Magneto, daughter of Magneto, or not. Another one or a relative. I think they keep retconning her in and out as that, but in either case, another magnetism manipulator, not to the extent of Magneto, but it'd be dope to have her and Magneto have a team up. That would be cool. And another, females for the females who play rivals. There's so many millions of people who play, so there's got to be a large pool of females that play as well. Give them the option of having, if they want to, be able to play as Wolverine or Magneto, like, I'm gonna play with the female uh alternative option, you know what I'm saying? Kick ass while playing as a female. Coming in number 6, we got Surge, one of the newer characters. I'm not too familiar with her from the books, but what makes me familiar with her is the Marvel Snap game on the phone. I always got her on my deck. She is one of those dope characters, and what made me think, got her real high up on there is the fact, oh, damn, I did not copy the image for her, so we are going to have to skip her. But Surge is one of those characters that you could actually, like, she's one of those characters that's good for like boosting people's stats and everything. So she could be a great character for like strategist, basically giving people extra health or extra power and whatnot. Different alternatives for strategists. We could use as many strategists as possible. Coming in number 5, we got Jubilee, and man, we got to start putting more respect on Jubilee's name, especially after that story that came out with the YouTuber who blew off his fingers playing with fireworks, man. I remember no one ever respected Jubilee or powers. Like, man, fireworks, that ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't gonna hurt nobody. But after hearing the story, someone got damn near half their face blown off. Another person damn near blew off all their fingers and hand and whatnot. Like, man, them firecrackers ain't no joke after all, man. So we gotta definitely put some respect on Jubilee's name. Definitely make you go back and retcon every time Jubilee shot them fireworks off in people's face. Man, she should have been really doing some damage. But I digress. Coming in number 4, and I do like Jubilee more than I like Armor by far, by 1,000%. But we do need more Vanguards, and Armor is a perfect candidate for a Vanguard, and we do feel we need more female Vanguards at that. So having a little female Juggernaut variation, would not be mad at having Armor number 4 on the list. Number 3, I got Mystique because Mystique could play like Loki, but as opposed to Loki, whose ultimate is basically taking anybody else's ultimate, Mystique could play as the person who transforms into anyone on the team's normal moves. So she could have like a max, or she could copy 2, 3 people's normal moves and then bust those out and play with those. That would be a dope little switch up right there as like a variation to how Loki plays. Or transform into one person at a time and have their move set. When she dies, she could switch into somebody else. That would be pretty dope. Getting into the top 2, we got Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde, Excalibur for 1, OG, original Jubilee for the X-Men. Shadowcat, just too many relationships that she could go with, from people that obviously people want to see in the game in the future and already in the game, from Colossus, who ain't in the game yet, but Wolverine, who is, uh, other people like Nightcrawler, you got the Captain Britons, like, so many people have a close relationship with Shadowcat. Would be dope. Her abilities to phase in and out, make her teammates phase in and out. I could see her as another strategist in that role. So yeah, that would be that would be dope to have Shadowcat up in the game in that aspect. My number 1 pick, X women, I would like to see in the game is Rogue. Since we already got Jean Grey announced, I kept her off the list. She was initially my number 1. That's why I didn't have a picture for Surge, but I decided to take her off because she's already the first person coming in 5 days. So wouldn't make sense to include her. But Rogue, Rogue could be another person different from Mystique. So what I would do is I would make Mystique where she could transform into teammates and use their moves, as to where Rogue, she has to touch the enemy, and with the enemy, that gives her 1 additional. So she has a momentary moment of flight, but it works more like a Star-Lord, or how Jean Grey's works now that she's going to be in the game, where it's like momentary type, as opposed to like with a cooldown, similar to like Johnny Storm. And then she has like 1 like strength move. She could be like a Vanguard too, though. Honestly, she needs to be, because her strength and durability definitely need to make her a Vanguard with the option of like limited flight. Not even a flight, a move where she flies up or flies in a direction and can hit somebody, but not very limited flight, and a move to absorb, and then she could do somebody's type of move. But that's what we would do, or that's what I would do personally. Rogue, number 1 X woman, I would like to see on Marvel Rivals. With that, we are going to get into the top 10 X-Men that I would like to see. And I know this might ruffle somebody's feathers, because the top 10 X-Men I want to see is not your typical top 10, at least not their placement. And I know some people will be like, you bugging. But before we do get into that, we are going to get into the top 5 honorable mentions, starting with the newer X-Men, Kid Omega. We did some time on X-Force. Another reason I definitely want to pick Kid Omega on my list was because he's one of the more successful newer cats that they got, so definitely and with the psychic abilities that he got, definitely would have like a cool little team up with a Emma Frost or Phoenix, even a Wolverine, because I know he got a little bit of a relationship with Wolverine as well. So that would be dope to have him up in the game. Last minute addition. I almost forgot your boy. Honorable mention number 4, Phantom X. Another X-Force alumni. I would love to have an all X-Force team, if possible, up on this game. Phantom X would be another cold addition to this game. Another person, just like Kid Omega, would be their debut on a game. And I know they want to include newer characters to the game. These would be 2 candidates I would highly recommend for like newer people who haven't been in any games yet to add into the game. That would be fire, in my personal opinion. Coming in number 3, we got Sunspot for X-Force, old school X-Force, but X-Force nonetheless, he's more so X-Men 91 these days. But back in the day, he was X-Force, Sunspot. Roberto, yo, your boy, all solar energy. Like, yo, this dude is a problem, bro. Always like the design for him too, man. Fire as heck. Shout out to Greg Capullo. Oh, this one might be Jim Lee. Yeah, this is Jim Lee because it's the card, but Greg Capullo got busy on Sunspot back in the day too. Honorable mention number 2, we got Beast Hank McCoy. You're like, damn, man, no love for Beast. Beast didn't make the top 10. Unfortunately, y'all, nah, he ain't even make the top number 1 honorable mention. But your boy Beast definitely one of the people I want to be mad. And honestly, Beast is more likely going to debut in this game before a lot of the people in my top 10. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a former X-Men, Avenger. Beast is just all over the place, man. So yeah, Beast coming in. Honorable mention number 5 for me, number 2 personal honorable mention. Honorable mention number 1 for me, a person he ain't in no games to my recollection, but I would love to see this person finally featured in a game, and that's the leader of Excalibur, Captain Britain, brother of Psylocke. So yo, you already got a team up right there. Put your boy Captain Britain up in the game. That would be fire. And then again, representation. We ain't got no UK characters up in the game. Let's get the Captain of UK up in there, man. Captain Britain would be fire. Even though I'm not really for all the like flying characters and everything like that. That would be cool to have Captain Britain finally get his love, get his debut in a video game, bro. Same thing with Excalibur, X-Force. These are 2 teams. X-Force even. These are 3 teams I really haven't. X-Force slightly. You got like 2 or 3 characters. That's technically enough. 3 characters enough. But Excalibur, X-Force, like damn, let's give them some love, bro. Like let's get them featured up in the game. We getting into the top 10 most wanted Marvel rival X-Men. With that coming in number 10, we got my boy Bobby Drake, the original Drake, Iceman. Yo, the Iceman that used to pull ladies, man. I don't like how they just switch my boy up. Iceman I grew up on Iceman. Iceman used to be the playboy, just switch from girl to girl and everything like that. And now y'all just, it's like he like boys. And I don't got nothing against people whose preferences love who you love and everything. But man, don't just switch my boy up like that. Don't play my boy like that, man. Their characters have been gay Marvel characters, and there are multiple gay Marvel characters. You ain't gotta just take my boy and do him like that, bro. Just because one writer felt some type of way. I played my boy, man. We want straight Iceman back. Make America great again. They really should be make Iceman great again. That's a real travesty. Coming in number 9, Colossus on the list. That's only because of how hard they slammed to. Colossus got team ups with Wolverine and Magic already ready off rip. Off rip, you already got 2. You got Jean Grey and Storm, so you got X-Men Gold. He already got really 4 team ups off rip that he got ready. You could do something with him, Thing, and Hulk as well. The powerhouses, bro. Like, I know a lot of people weighing on Colossus. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of people went on Peter Rasputin to make his show up over on Marvel Rivals. Another perfect Vanguard. Perfect for Vanguard. Best Vanguard on the list. Natural Vanguard on this list, hands down. Probably should be higher just based off that. I was bugging. I didn't take that in consideration. Coming in number 8. Most wanted X-Men, in my opinion. My personal wish list for Marvel Rivals would have to be Nightcrawler, Warren Wagner, pull up with the dual knives and everything. Would have a natural team up with Psylocke. More of a natural team up with Wolverine 100%. I could see him with Spider-Man as well because of the story that they did. So that's two really good team ups right there. The skins for Nightcrawler would be crazy, I would think. I think they would go stupid with the skins for Nightcrawler, bro. Coming in number 7 on my personal list, Professor X. I know some of y'all probably like, damn, Professor X is low on the list. Yo, Professor X with the wheelchair pulling up and each skin got a different wheelchair would be so fire, bro. That alone would make me want Professor X probably like immediately. That would be stupid fire. I'm drop one of my gummy bears. But yeah, Charles Xavier, the team ups, naturally, any X-Men, Magneto, shit. The Illuminati members from Mr. Fantastic, Black Panther, Iron Man, Namor. Damn, he got damn near more than anybody has a team up capable with anybody. Jean Grey especially, shit. So Professor X very high up there. Coming in number 6, another person. This dude never on no games. Definitely need more love. Little brother of Cyclops, Havoc. Man, can we please, Marvel? I am begging you, can we please get Havoc in the game? Can we please get Havoc in the game pronto? The leader of X Factor, one of the OG, well, not OG, but one of the dopest X-Men lineups was when you had Havoc, Wolverine, Rogue, Colossus, Psylocke, Storm, Mohawk Storm, Dazzler, Longshot. Bro, that squad was so filthy, bro. And then he had his fire-ass X-Force squad with Polaris, Multiply Man, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane. Bro, quit playing my boy Alex Summers like that, man. You got to throw my boy Havoc in the game, and you got to throw his nephew up in there as well, man. Cable. You got to throw Cable in the game. Cable was a little bit higher initially on my list. The thing that knocked Cable a little slightly off my list was the fact that Cable's got in love in a few games where a little bit more than some of the other characters. Well, not really, just one. Because I know people are going to be like, you really put this person above these people, but yes. And it got nothing to do with it. We'll get there when we get there. But Cable, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, come on. One of the absolute best characters on that game, man. I played that game for decades, bro. Cable, one of the very best on there. Cable's even on Fortnite, one of the few X-Men that actually is featured on Fortnite. He was on Fortnite before Cyclops was on Fortnite. Like, he was on there before Gambit and Rogue was on Fortnite. At least when I got on Fortnite, I got there a little late. When I got there, Cable was accessible. They weren't. So I had Cable on Fortnite before either of them. Point being, Cable's been on some shit. That's the only reason I got him a little bit lower than what I would initially had him. But coming in number 4 on the list, it's going to surprise some of y'all, but number 4 on my personal list is Deadpool. And I almost put Deadpool number 6. I ain't going to hold you. I kind of want Havoc and Cable more than I want Deadpool. But for the interactions, we already got the movie and whatnot. We keep getting new teases for wallpapers and skins and whatnot on the game, so might as well put Deadpool higher up there, you know? Like Deadpool, don't get me wrong, one of my guys, but the other guys I just grew up with a little bit longer, so that I do hold them a little higher regard than Deadpool. Getting into the top 3 for me personally, number 3, Yo, please get this guy in the game. My boy Bishop, man. I put Bishop before Cable, even though they're very similar for two reasons, and before Deadpool for the same reason, which is that Bishop isn't featured on anything, bro. He's in none of the video games, hardly, bro. Like you gotta go back to like damn near like the Sega or some shit like that to find Bishop featured in a game. Um, so yeah, like I need Bishop prominent in this game. Works well with the future, jumping out of the futures and everything. Same thing with Cable. But what also makes Bishop a good person when I put him this high is I'm thinking of like his play mechanic. He naturally absorbs energy. So like if you hit him with like any type of energy beam, his power is to store it up and then shoot it back at you. So his ultimate could be once his energy is fully charged up, he releases a massive beam at you. And then also that makes him a good vanguard where he could absorb energy and then leash it back at you. And then he has like the shotgun for close range. So he's a vanguard who's a shooter, but also could shoot kinetic for his distant blast is his absorb the energy and shoot it back at you. It is close range is the shotgun. But unlike Punisher has to switch back and forth, like his automatic melee is the shotgun, and his power that you have to use the skill on is his shoot back the energy type blast, etc. So that's why I would have Bishop in the game. Another thing with Bishop too is like every Marvel game, it don't matter what Marvel game that it is, it don't matter the theme, if it gotta do with space, if it gotta do with interdimension, if it gotta do with like with hell, heaven and hell, it don't matter. Every time they do a game, it's like their token black character is Storm every single time. If there's only one black character in the game, it's Storm, or it's Black Panther, but it's usually Storm. Can we please feature some different black characters? Black Panther and Storm are not your only two black characters in the game. That's why I'm so happy that they got Blade dropping in that game. But can we get Bishop in the game? Like, I'm not trying to be ungrateful, but can we please get Bishop thrown into the game? That's my rant. Coming in number 2 for me personally, Cyclops. Cyclops desperately need to get in this game. Your girl, both your girls, Cyclops, both your women is already in the game with niggas who both trying to holler at your girl. Wolverine trying to holler at Jean Grey, Iron Man trying to holler at Emma Stark, but they both just chasing your leftovers. We know you the OG pimp who conquered both of those females. We know both of them females was yours first. Those laid up in your bed first, pimping. We already know, but man, now they out there doing team ups with other people. They cheating behind your back, Scott. And we can't go for it, bro. So that's why we got to get Cyclops in the game ASAP. Both of his females is already in the game. His biggest rival, his biggest teammate, everybody that Cyclops rock with is already in the game. Why not him? His second in command of the Captain Storm's already in the game. Everybody but Cyclops? Come on, bro. Quit playing your boy like that. And I even played your boy like that because he ain't my number one. Number one is my second only to Wolverine as far as favorite. Really tied with Wolverine. For my favorite, not just X-Men, but comic book character of all time, my boy Gambit. I even got the first comic book appearance of Gambit. Man, yo, this is my boy. We got to get Gambit in Rivals ASAP. I did hear some leaked audio lines, so I know he's coming, and I'm hyped for that. Let's get Gambit in the game ASAP before Deadpool. Even before Cyclops, I don't care. Y'all can get mad at me. I said it. Let's get Remy LeBeau into this game ASAP. Man, when you do, man, I'm going to be playing Gambit like crazy, non-freaking stop. Because I'm already Lord Wolverine. That's the main dude I play with up on that game. But, bro, that is who I need in Marvel Rivals so I can really cook food. Let me tell y'all, man, with that, we're going to get into our movies that are releasing this July 2025. And there ain't too many that really caught my eye, that caught my interest. But there are a few. There's 9 in particular. Getting right into it, we got The Bad Guys 2. And what the reason this caught my eye is because, for those of you who don't know, I do have a bachelor's degree. I did graduate from college for media arts and animation. And one of the things that we did a lot of classes on, one of the things that I did study was 3D animation, design, rigging, animating it, lighting, everything. And so anytime I do see like a 3D animation, it does got a little special piece of my heart, even though I don't work into the 3D animation field. But let me pull these movies up real quick. Here we go. The Bad Guys, number 2. And I'll be completely transparent with you. I need to see The Bad Guys 1. Didn't watch it. And that's terrible because that's like my degree. So I should be keep a close eye on everything in that. But when I went to that school is mainly to learn like the 2D animation, digital animation side of things. But in order to graduate, you had to take the 3D stuff too. So I learned it, and that's the hardest. Definitely was the hardest stuff out of everything there, just because of how much time and work goes into everything that you have to do, especially the lighting. The lighting was a bitch. But I digress. I should be a little bit more up on it, followed a little bit more closely. But yeah, I'm more on the anime type of style than the 3D side. But I am familiar and do know the whole pipeline and process of it. Number 8 movie coming out this month, Jurassic World. I'm not sure. Did Jurassic World already come out? I think it may have already came out. I was never big on Jurassic Park or any of those. I was never big on dinosaurs personally. Not even the Land Before Time. I remember watching the Land. I remember watching original Jurassic Park too, bro. But I just never was a big dinosaur person. I never played with dinosaur toys or none of that shit. I did like 1 or 2 times, but I never like collected them or owned them for like long periods of times or anything like that. Maybe when I was like 4 or 5 for a short period of time. May had like 1 or 2, but it was never a big enthusiast for dinosaurs, really. Coming in number 7, Summer Wars Remastered. That should show you how much I really ate into Jurassic World. A movie that is just basically a remastered is what I am more so excited for. And I don't know what happened, but the thing I used to upload the images, it's not there no more. So I guess I will just have to move on. Coming in number 6, I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I remember the original I Know What You Did Last Summer back in like, I want to say like the early 2000s, like 2001, 2002, maybe 2000. Can't recall, but it was sometime around that period. I guess they're making a new one. Hey, yo, this is. I'm not gonna make the joke. I'll let somebody else make the joke. That's the dude with the firecracker, with the firecracker head. I Know What You Did Last Summer. He coming back next summer for everybody who made fun of him, blowing his hand up with the firecracker. That's gonna be your boy with the hook. You gonna fuck y'all up. Y'all better stop making fun of your boy. The Naked Gun, number 5, and I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I really can't stand. Personally, I can't stand this actor. Oh, it's I guess it's the file type that I selected, so it's did it for another one too. I'm seeing. I can't stand this actor Leah Wilson because of those remarks about like hunting down a black person and shit. But yo, that motherfucking giving the bullshit story with it to justify it. Oh, my friend was, by a black person, so I want to kill a black person. All that bullshit, yada yada. Yeah, whatever. Head of the state, number 4, heads of the state. Rather, John Cena, Ilda Saibara, I might have said that, butchered that, my fault. Elda, damn, I can't read. It was right there on top of the fucking picture. All right, anyway, the preview for this looked really good. When I saw it, I was like, yo, I really want to see this. Naked Gun looked really good too. I ain't gonna hold you. I can't stand that motherfucker, but the preview for that looked really, really good. So that's another one. Like I'm gonna give it a shot just because I like to watch movies, but damn, I can't stand that dude. All right, coming in number 3, we got Happy Gilmore. Number 2, yo, I can't wait for this, yo. You got your boy MJF in it. Bad Buddy up in it. I saw a little clip out, a little cameo appearance with Becky Lynch. I hear Britt Baker make a little cameo appearance as well, very briefly for them, but still dope to see Adam Sandler just, giving out these shots to all these wrestlers and everything, man. Big wrestling fan myself. So very happy about that. Number 2 for me is Superman. I got Superman number 2 on my list. Yeah, Superman looks like it's gonna be very epic. But the thing I'm worried about with Superman is there's just like it seems like there's gonna be so much happening that it's just gonna be too much. I feel like that's the only thing I worry about. Like it's gonna be to the point where it's just too much to really stick the landing properly. I want to be wrong on it, but I could be wrong. Number 1 for me personally is the Fantastic Four, and I don't have an image for it, but the reason Fantastic Four is just because of it has more on the back end. There's more that's relying on it, so there's more at stake. So for that reason, I would have to put the Fantastic Four. Not even because I'm more of a Marvel guy, which I am, than DC. Even though I do like both, like Image, like Dark Horse, Antarctic Press, shit, Rippaverse, even to an extent. Uh, Not everything. But that's with everybody. So yeah, I am interested in looking forward to see what they do with the Fantastic Four first steps, just to see how it leads into everything, because there's a lot riding on this. And so this is basically going to determine for a lot of people whether or not they are reinvested into the Marvel universe. With that is our movie reviews. Those are the movies coming out 2025. And let's see here. We are about to transition. We're about to transition into the anime, because there is a lot of anime that's coming out. And so let's see here. I'm just trying to clear this real quick. There's so much anime that's coming out that I definitely want to get my animes right, because I definitely want to start being able to review, know what to look for, know what days they drop and everything, get a schedule for that setup. But you know what? Before I do that, actually, there's one thing I want to do before that. This might scare some people off, but there aren't that many people up in here at this time anyway. I do want to do a honest review of Ironheart, episode 1 review. Because, man, there was a lot of controversy, a lot of, there's like just been a lot of hype, not a hype, but a lot of talk about everything that went down with Ironheart and being review bombed on Rotten Tomato. Like 20 minutes into it even coming out, people had whole reviews for the entire season, which is impossible. People just bombed it to hell. Everywhere you look, from the geeks and gamers to, to everybody, from your nerdrotics to your, clown. I don't know about Clownfish. I really ain't been following Clownfish in a while, so let me not say that. The Quartering and everybody, these people, they all just jumped on it and just review bombed it, and constantly make videos talking about how bad it is, and celebrating how not received it is based off a lot of people's influence. But based off just the 20 minutes alone, the reviews within 20 minutes alone. That alone, it's undisputed, was a review bomb. So for that, to the people who did do that, you can't say it wasn't race baited. And I don't want to be out here and pointing fingers and everything, but just be real with yourself. I mean, it is what it is, Just be honest, because for you to be able to do that immediate, it just shows like you didn't have good faith, and you didn't really watch it. You just probably flew through and then was like, all right. There are things negative to where if people actually have real criticism, didn't like it, like there's definitely a lot in there to where you could not like it, pick it apart and be like, I don't like it for this, and that's why I don't like it, and it would have been cool. But once you could tell in the comments, some of you guys just aren't even good at hiding your hatred. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys expose yourself when you throw them in clip those. Oh, this is woke. First of all, she's a new character. It ain't one of those characters that you just completely race swapped or gender swapped. It's a new character who works in the same universe, same timeline as Iron Man in the comic book. It ain't the same, and it ain't the same as it is, even less to an extent than Miles Morales, who a lot of people are cool with, a lot so than a lot of the other people who this happens to. Even though I do see a lot of people, myself included, I'm not the biggest fan of Miles Morales just because it's lazy to me. But with Ironheart, there's just a little bit more to it. But I do see that where there's people who can have their gripes and not like it for several things outside of what they really don't like it for, which is just superficial and is just dumb, in my opinion. It's ignorant, in my opinion. But we're going to break it down. We're going to break down, and there's a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's some things immediately that I'm like, all right, I could see where this could have been someone's criticism, and they're like, you know what, man, fuck this show, fuck this character. But when people convey why they don't like it, these aren't the reasons they're conveying. It's just, it's they bring it. Oh, it's woke. No. That's just like a lazy ass, lazy go to. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. And it's not the best, but it damn sure ain't the worst. Do we not forget we just had Agatha the Harkness? Do we not forget we had Nick Fury, Secret Invasion? Do we not forget the Eternals? Like, to say it's worse than any of those, come on now. I was worried when I heard people say this is the worst thing ever. I was worried, like, this can't be right, because Eternals was god awful. Agatha, really, really, that was god awful as well. Like, some of these shows are really bad. Even the I haven't seen enough. I only seen the first episode, so I can't compare it to the Captain America, Falcon and Captain America show on Disney yet. But it's definitely better than 3-4 Disney shows I've seen so far, easily. So just based off that one episode. So the way for people to make it like this the worst thing ever. Again, I haven't seen the whole thing. My opinion can change, but based off this first episode, a lot of people who put out these reviews got some explaining to do, because even for those who say it's bad just because the reasons for it. I'm going to give y'all some justifiable reasons for it during this review, a lot. Starting with the very beginning. All right, so we're going to start from the very top of the episode. It starts off with a confident, cocky protagonist whose first words will basically make people who are a legitimate Iron Man fan mad. I ain't gonna hold you. She basically says, I'm gonna be better, but at the same time, you gotta take, all right, I'm gonna give you, it's a negative and a positive to it. It starts off introducing to the character, her and her best friend. They have, outside of this college, a college, mind you, that Spider-Man, he dreams of going to, you know what I'm saying? And we all know Spider-Man's smart as fuck. So by him still working towards this goal, this girl already obtaining that goal, not to mention she's Iron Man protege, or at least the girl who's the closest to Iron Man-esque as far as, intelligence. And in some ways, what I could see turning a lot of people off, she is straight up saying her ambition, but there's nothing wrong with this. But to some people, because we complain a lot on social media, these social media days and age, I could see where some people have a gripe with this because they're an Iron Man fan or whatnot. Is her saying, hey, she's at college right now, I plan to be bigger than Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Hank Pym, Ant-Man for those of you unfamiliar with the real name for him, and Tony Stark's Iron Man for those of you not familiar with the real name, Iron Man. So to some already, it could be like, yo, this bitch who's a second Iron Man, a knockoff Iron Man, is starts off 15 seconds into the show saying the first words out of her mouth is, I'm about to be better than all these fucking great people. And to some people, I could see where they could take that as an arrogant. But if you really look at the positive to that is it shows one confidence in oneself. A lot of times, some of these characters, it's been like a trope in Marvel, where a lot of characters they lack confidence or not really, pushed around, bullied or whatnot. Like off the gate, we see she's ambitious, she's confident, so that's a good thing. She wants to excel, and anybody, when you have heroes who you grow up idolizing, your thing is, I want to be like them, but you want to, your thing is to take it to the next step. I want to, all right, the iPhone's already been made, so the person who idolizes Steve Jobs, for example, they don't want to just make an iPhone. They want to make something greater than the iPhone. So there's nothing wrong with her saying that, but I could see where some people could take that as being brash or a little bit too arrogant, especially for being the protagonist or whatnot. But me, I didn't personally have too much of an issue with it, other than I kind of felt like it was a little bit of a shot. Somewhat. I could see where people could take it as a shot. Me personally, I didn't, but I could see where someone could take it as a shot. It did come off a little cocky in some sense, but moving along. Uh, from there, she is mentioning her goal and how she could be the greatest inventor of her generation. As she's going through the school, they're like basically doing a montage of her at her school and whatnot, and how she's getting the resources basically to afford her schooling there, and to afford the materials for her research, and for how she's able to afford to make the Ironheart suit that she's working on. And one of the things, again, this is all so early, dog. Like it's just like literally within the first minute or minute and a half of the show. Like she makes another shot at Iron Man, bruh. Literally, like a second shot at Iron Man within 30 seconds into the show. She is basically talking about no offense to Iron Man, but do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire? No shade. So you already said I want to be better than you, and now you're saying you're only you because you're a billionaire, which is a major shot. But the issue with that is there's so many issues with that, and this was a big one. This to me was probably the biggest issue more than anything. More than I know people's main gripe. Let's be real. Let's get the elephant out the room real quick. A lot of people who at least went online to vocalize their displeasure and their anger with it and review bomb it was due to there being a trans character and there being a drag queen character, bruh. Let's just keep it 1,000. And those are the primary two. The third was there being a black female Iron Man as the main protagonist, etc. Those are the three main gripes with people, not the actual content of the story and whatnot. Those are a lot of people's main gripe, and that's not everybody. But to have a review bomb the way it was in that 20 minutes, clearly they didn't, the people who review bomb that's what they were going off of. They knew, oh, I hear there's a this in there. I heard there's a this in there. I heard there's a this in there. And that's why people went in there and did what they did. Oh, this is another woke, Marvel hitting us with another woke bullshit, so we're about to fucking review bomb it. Like, but the actual content, there was enough to review bomb. If you actually watched it, it just would have took you an hour before you made that review, bro. And then I would have been able to take your review at somewhat valid criticism if it actually touched on the points I'm touching on, which a lot of them don't. There's some that do, but a lot don't. And the some that do aren't from 20 minutes before the show came out. But it is possible for some of them, though, because, again, this was like within the first 2 minutes of the show. Shit, this is in the first minute and 15 seconds of the show. Takes the second shot, won't be a billionaire. The issue with that, though, in the comic books, he did make all his stuff in a cave, so it ain't like while he might have had the parts, like it ain't like he had the right stuff to set up shop to actually build it in the cave. Like he's a genius, bruh. So don't even downplay his. You're kind of downplaying his genius by saying that, you know. Well, that's how he had the funds to afford it, but I don't know. It kind of felt like a little bit of like a shot at him. And another issue with that for me is it's just so far away from the comic book. Her position and her juxtaposition to Tony Stark as to where like that's not how she feels towards him in the comic book. She idolized that man. He's her mentor in the comic book. So like in this one, because he died and everything before she shows up, they don't have that same relationship. So instead, she's just like it's they don't have that connection, and she's just like it feels like while she respects him and wants to continue his research, she at the same time is taking shots at him. I'm just like, man, come on, bro. Uh, and it's like again, like to say, yo, I'm gonna be better or smarter and everything than a guy who you're living in the world where the whole world was saved from Iron Man specifically. So like in your world, he should be someone you don't even speak on like that unless you speaking of like the utmost, of gratitude and uh reverence, so in that regard, I personally didn't like it. And again, it's so off from her actual comic book character, that type of mentality, that I kind of didn't care for that part. I will give her props though. At the same time, while she did take two shots, she did mention how she wanted to carry on his legacy and everything that he's achieved. So at the same time, she does acknowledge him, and for her to put him in that list of people, that kind of shows you who her role models and who her heroes are. So I can again, I didn't take offense to it, but that 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 first time I take offense to it. But when you do say you would be Iron Man without being a billionaire lad, it kind of makes it kind of seem like I don't know, So for people who do take that stance after making that comment, I could see where they could rightfully have that opinion. The scene where she's getting expelled is a really good scene. Even though, like, all right, I get it. You, I get it, and here's some problem with me with the Iron Heart personally. I get that you paid for the suit, and at that school they have like the thing where it's like anything made at your school they own the rights to, but if you pay for it all out of your money, then I guess you own the rights. Well, that didn't look clear to me. It looked like she was stealing the suit from the university, and they was trying to stop her, but she was like, "You're powerless to do so." You know what I'm saying? And then that's why she just dipped all the way out and went to another state. So, one, you technically committed a crime after being expelled. Two, you're committing multiple crimes prior to being expelled, which led to your expel. Not major crimes, but they're like little minor crimes, if that. I mean, I don't know if it's like against the law to sell homework or whatnot, but at the very least, very unethical. Like you're slinging homework like it's drugs to pay for your research and the materials to build your Ironheart suit and whatnot. So like your means of doing everything, what if even if you have the right the right thing in mind, your means of doing everything is all corrupt. It's all crooked. It's illegal. It's unethical. It's unmoral. So that's bad for a protagonist, because for one, as a protagonist, you're supposed to be setting examples for the children and everything. Morals and stuff that they're gonna want to reinforce in their own life and everything like that. So it's not setting good examples for these kids who might take to Ironheart as a role model or as someone that they like. It's like, hey, you know what? Steal, sell drugs or whatever you got to do. If it's what you need to do something good, as long as it's going towards something good, hey man, my family's sick, but so it's okay. So no, it's not. You know, you still need to work within the laws. You still need to do things legally. You can't be breaking the laws just because what you're doing as a result of breaking those laws is good. Like, no, you did illegal things to do that. So you were rightfully expelled, and then you steal the suit, even though you created it. You created it on that school ground. They're trying to stop you. Steal the suit, dip out. From there, we cut to these burglars. So there, it's like already like, damn, like, are you really a good guy? You've been selling stuff, and that's nothing like diabolical. Like, I don't make you a super villain, but you're not doing nothing good. Don't make no superhero. That's for damn sure. Then you're stealing, so now you're a thief. So like, not another good look. Then we go to some house burglars, and this is where a lot of people, as I mentioned before, had they gripes because there's a scene with some house burglars. You got the dude from Eric Andre, who's fucking up on the alarm, which gives the criminals, it blows up their spot. They're trying to be in and out sneaky, but this dude ruins that for them. So now they got to hurry up, get in and out. I really didn't have a problem with the scene. It had a little bit of comedy to it, establishing some of the bad guys and whatnot. But like, I didn't see the rest of the series, so I don't know if these are the main bad guys or whatnot, or whatnot. I only heard about Mephisto. The only thing I know is Mephisto shows up at the very end of the series. I gotta watch the other episodes to determine basically how this ranks in regards to all the other series or whatnot. But for these guys, it looks like that these guys are featured prominently through the series because there wasn't really much of them in this first episode. Like, they have a few times they show up on screen, but it's for like little 5-minute durations, nothing crazy, nothing too like over the head trying to slam your face. Yeah, you do see a little scene where like, and I could see where some people, the geeking gamer type of community crowd, could get really like extra and blow up over the scene where there's a scene where like the criminals, they break in. You got in this scene like a female and a transgender dude, and they're just beating up all these men. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no females they beat up. They just beat up all these security guards who are trying to stop them from breaking into the house. So they're the criminals, keep in mind. But they're gonna beat up all these dudes who are just doing their job, security, trying to stop them from stealing whatever it is that they in that house trying to steal. Uh, Beat their ass. And so I could see where some people are like, oh, that's woke because it's like enforcing the female and the trans female dude just beating up all these dudes and shit, which is not realistic. But it is what it is. Next, yeah, so I could see that being one of the things that trigger the review bombers right there. Also, they also show like a little quick thing, like the little drag queen dude up in like the van, trying to run like basically like strategy for everybody on the team, operatives. And so I could see where that could trigger some of the review bomber type people as well. But at this point, they weren't nothing too egregious or doing anything too egregious to really warrant calling the show woke or, being too like, oh man, this is throwing me off. Next, we got Riri arriving in Chicago, and her armor's starting to break down and everything. And it's a hilarious scene that happens right here because in this scene, um, there's a dope little while her armor's breaking off and everything, and then she like falls in Chicago, revealing the Ironheart logo, which is like through like the rumble from her fall and everything. Nice, it looks very nice, but at the same time, the way she crash landed and everything, and the way that armor was, like, yo, that should have did way more damage to her. She should be going to a hospital right now, for one. The scene, though, for what it was, the scene that was really funny. It reminded me of the scene from the Chappelle Show where like Calvin works at McDonald's, and then like he's walking down the street after getting fired from McDonald's, and everybody on the block is like clowning him. It was very much like that. So I definitely did enjoy that scene. That scene right there was one of those saving scenes for it where I was just like, yo, this show ain't all bad. That was a really well put together scene, and the way they did the logo and everything like that. I really did enjoy that. I enjoyed how she broke out of the school with the armor as well. So, like, again, I was like, all right, there's some bad, there's some good, there's some bad, there's some good. It was a lot of that. It's just like a constant hot tag back and forth between good and bad. So like I can't say at all by far this is not the worst Marvel title that we got. Yo, there was did that scene they were cracking me up. One dude was like, "Yo, Iron Girl, my bad, is it Iron Ma? Or you not responding because I called you Iron Ma? Is the Iron Chick?" Yo, that's another. He's like, "I ain't trying to be mean, but you look like a hot mess in counseling and attention, bro." There's some funny ass one liners that they was dropping during that walk of shame after the armor broke down. There's another scene, man, happens all the time. At least I don't know if this is just I don't know if this is just with my family or if this is a black culture thing, man. Or maybe it's not just even black culture, if it's just family culture, bruh. But there's this scene that like really hits home with me with Riri where like she's walking home, she's just getting back to her house in Chicago, and before she could get in the door, she could hear her mom and a couple of her family members. They up in the house and they talking about like all the other family members, basically whoever's not around, just running down their business. And pretty much in this case, it's her, since she's the one who's not there, that's the one she's talking about. And then she walks in the door and then everybody's like, oh shit, and just immediately switches up the subject, thinking that she ain't heard what they were talking about. But of course she did hear what they talking about. So she's like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? But of course, since she lives there, she ain't got no choice but to, not say shit, but just, eat it. So uh basically, luckily for her, so she don't want to be around them because they run their mouth. And then fucking her best friend pops up and he says another line that I know is gonna make people, especially people who aren't black, get triggered. He comes into the room and he's just like, hey, black people, and everybody in the room like, yo, what up, give them their little greetings and everything. I could see how to like white people, especially the white people already hung up about there being a black Iron Woman, about the trans character, the drag queen, who of course they have to make the drag queen character black. They're like, well, you don't complain about that though, but every time they do that type of character, they always want to make it the black person. I digress though. You don't want to talk about that though, but from that to basically that line, I could see that triggering them as well. Like, man, it's just a woke ass show. Like, you got the black girl as the main character, you got a trans character, a drag queen. Now you got this black character coming in saying, "What up, black people?" Like making people feel kind of alienated in a sense, because that definitely is an alienated line. Don't get me wrong. If you ain't black, that line ain't gonna hit with you. So see where some people have a bone of contention with that line as well. Um, After that, her and her best friend, they basically walk in to get away because she don't want to be around the drama. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel? Again, I could completely relate to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't want to be around nobody when people talking about you behind your back type shit. You like, fuck it. Oh boy, dip out. So he basically talking to a best friend about it, and then next thing you know, they can see someone talking. Another shot. This is another point where I could see people getting some type of way, because there's another slight shot at Iron Man where they're talking, and I forgot the line, but she basically said something about Iron Man, and yeah, it was basically a line, but it was a line that kind of like took a shot at Iron Man while giving him props at the same time. So to her, she was just like, some people might have been like, man, fuck this girl. She keeps taking shots at Tony. This would have been, I could see where to some people, this could have made the fourth or fifth time in the show, she's took a shot at Iron Man. To me personally, she probably took two valid shots at Iron Man. And when I say valid, I don't mean like she's right in those. I mean two that I could say, nah, that's a shot. The other two, I could be like, oh, that's just like, I respect you. I want to be better than you. But like, no disrespect. Like, you the person I strive to be, but I want to be better than that type. But there are a few like the Iron Man wouldn't be Iron Man without being a billionaire, where I could just be like, oh yeah, that's a shot. And I forgot what it was she said, but the way she worded it while she was talking to her best friend was definitely one of the ones that was just like, damn, like you taking another shot. I could see why people are gonna get mad at this, because like if you're so great, like why don't you come up with your own completely new thing? Like you're like basically piggybacking off of something he already did. You know what I'm saying? After that, we get a little bit of some backstory with her, some backstory foreshadowing as we see a mural of her and of her best friend who was at the very start of the show along with her dad. And this kind of threw me off for a minute because her friend gifts her with a mixtape, and I'm just like, damn, who like is handing out mixtape cassette player mixtapes? Like what time is this in the date range, in the timeline? And there was also a time earlier when she mentioned Iron Stark, but she mentioned them in like the present tense as opposed to like a past tense. They didn't use past tense when referring to them. So I'm like, is Iron Man still alive at this time? And then finally later on in the show they like use past tense. You're like, all right, I guess. But it was real confusing trying to figure out where this falls into the MCU timeline based off of some of the English vocabulary. So next thing you know, we got a thing with the villains they're talking about. They need to get somebody new for the job because the dude who does the Eric and Andre, he messed up last time, and they need to find a new tech person who's really smart to take his place. And one of the people who's like on this thieves crew actually grew up with, or at least at the very least, is very familiar with Riri, who just got back into town after getting expelled and whatnot. And he runs into her up at some parts shop that she, as a little kid, used to frequent back when she was like growing up as a kid. That basically runs down her backstory, and they do a really good job with this. I ain't gonna hold you. Like this is another thing I really did like, how they gave you the backstory real fast and just gave you a real good breakdown. And there's multiple layers to the backstory from her, from what she's lost with her best friend and her dad, which they go further into later on. To basically, they add a little backstory of her being expelled into what's happening right now. But then there's even further backstory to her as a kid and her graduating from elementary at an early age, high school early age, college at an early age, being accepted into that school she just got expelled from at an early age, you know. So uh, it gave you a real good right who she is and a quick backstory, very well put together, and the way they explained it was well done too, by having the one of the villains be a catalyst to basically the audience's introduction to the character and to like a bigger beat going on with the story, which is these villains trying to recruit Ironheart as their new tech specialist, basically for some jobs, stealing from. They didn't even really necessarily say bad people. They just said maybe they did and I overlooked it, but stealing from people. I think they did. I think they had to for her to be on board. But stealing from people, nonetheless, you're stealing. You're taking from somebody else. You're the bad guy. I don't care if they bad people or not. You're stealing. You're a bad guy too. Even if you steal for bad guys, you're a bad guy too. All right. So this group of people, they talk her into beating up with her to possibly join their group, and they convince her pretty easily, in my opinion, bro. So I'm just like, damn, bro, like all it takes is a little bit of money and whatnot, and you go just join up with the bad guys. So that is another one of the big things that kind of is like not good to me. You know, the everything's well shot, well choreographed and whatnot. So anyone talk about like it's like a real bad, like it's just based off of decisions basically, or who's casted or whatnot, because it's well done. It's just like the decisions. I'm just like, damn, this is supposed to be the good guy. You made her extremely arrogant to the point where she takes so many shots at Iron Man that if you're an Iron Man fan, you could already be in a feeling somewhere like, man, fuck this person. They already talk shit about Iron Man so many times. Iron Man, my dog, fuck this person. You know what I'm saying? You could also be one of those people like, oh, all right, she keeps doing bad things. Everything she's done, she hasn't done nothing good yet. She's done literally nothing good yet. Like everything she's done, she's sold people homework. Okay, you're not your typical nerd getting bullied and pushed around, but you're like the evil genius who's charging people to, help them get by in school and shit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking now that you don't have that school's resources, now you're about to rob rich people and shit so that you can make the money to continue doing your research, bro. Like there's other ways that you need to do it legally. It's not good. You're technically a villain. And that's the issue I personally have with this show, is that she is basically the villain. She gets trapped in this elevator, and even that, like they're basically testing her to see if she could escape this elevator in time. If not, she's shit out of luck, essentially. And her being the genius that she is, she's able to escape it, and in doing so, she does it in a record-breaking time. Now the whole crew all on her jock even more than they already were, begging her to join up with them and everything. And that's what she's going to basically end up doing. She's going to end up joining up with them for a job. And they're like, all right, so get ready for this mission. We're going to basically go on this heist or whatever. So it's going to be in a couple of days where it takes some time to prep and everything. So from there, we get a flashback of her and her dad and her best friend at her dad's shop. He's working at some auto shop. There's some gang violence that pops off in the area, and her dad and her best friend end up getting hit in the crossfire by some gang shootout. The gang shootouts off screen. You don't see them get hit on screen, but you just hear the gunshots and them all like reacting at first. Next thing you know, the dad goes down, best friend goes down. Flashback to her, or she cuts out of the flashback, clears up some of her, jadedness or whatnot. Next thing you know, she's rebuilding her suit, getting ready to meet up with the leader of the thieves. The leader of the thieves, he's getting prepped up and everything. This is where I finally put two and two together, because he was in the prior scene of the heist, but he wasn't featured too heavily. He was like the orchestrator, but he wasn't the one beating up the guards or doing the breaking and the hacking or anything like that. But their leader was this dude with the hood. He's the one who talked to Riri, who made the offer to join up with them or whatnot. I didn't realize it, but this is the hood from the comic books. And basically they're teasing him, and he's like in this like secret room, and he's like getting dressed, and you can see all these markings and magical shit on him with all these like enchantments and shit. And so it's like clearly his power source is coming from somewhere. I was thinking it was going to be Damaru like it is in the comic books, but even without seeing the whole series, it's been spoiled that it's Mephisto, which for me personally, Mephisto is just so overpowered to be Ironheart's like sole arch rival. Like he would just blow her out the water, bro. Like he should have been like in a movie as like a main villain. This guy has handled the Fantastic Four, Avengers, and the X-Men. So Ironheart, I don't think she's ready for that smoke. This is like the Marvel Universe version of Satan, literally. But yeah, we don't get anything with Mephisto in this episode. I think that's like very last episode. So I got a long way before I actually see that myself. After they finally get their stuff together, while uploading her information after she like repaired the damaged Iron Man suit, she passes out, and overnight, like she passes out with like these little things stuck to her head, which is like sinking her
memories and her mannerisms and whatnot into the suit and whatnot. She falls asleep and dreams of her best friend, and somehow her best friend like becomes the AI Jarvis for that suit. And now she's talking to her, communicating with her when she wakes up, which leads to like a whole little thing between those two, right? And then from there she sees it's time for their first mission. Old girl's like, yo man, we gonna basically knock out this mission and go from there. And that's where the episode actually ends. And based off of all of that, it was actually a decent episode. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was right there in the middle. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a C. Maybe a C minus. And I'd give it probably more of a C minus. Only because while I do empathize or emphasize with her losing her father and her best friend, with the family members that she got to deal with that whole situation, because they established her family dynamic and how what's the word I'm looking for, dysfunctional that dynamic is, her everything she got going on with her school dynamic, how dysfunctional that is. Outside of that, she hasn't done nothing heroic at all. As a matter of fact, she's did the complete opposite. She needs some redeeming to do. She's been a little bit of a bad guy. She's been a super villain. She's been a villain who ain't done nothing super. You've been like a low grade villain at this point. Minor crimes. Things I'll put you in civil court, but nothing that's gonna land you no serious time. Like, with that being said, that is my Ironheart review. So I'll give it a C minus. But it definitely ain't bad at all, bro. I like it. Like the way people talked about it, bro, nowhere close to as bad as the way people talked about it. So, yo, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to 5-Star Podsplash. My name is Andre Harris. I am about to get up out of here, and I'm about to join over on Kick exclusively. I'm going to review all the new anime coming out because we got so much anime coming out. I would have did it over on YouTube as well, but I know with YouTube that they are very, what's the right word I'm looking for? They're very strict when it comes to sharing like clips, and I don't know what their issues are or what their restrictions and limitations are, and I don't want to catch any copyright strikes or anything over there. I like having the name The Whole Effing Show over on YouTube. I like having it over here as well. I got it on Twitch as well. But yeah, and I don't want to risk losing that channel over on YouTube. I know I'm more safe over on a Kick than I am over on YouTube. Maybe even a little bit more safe on Twitch than I am YouTube. But I definitely don't feel safe over on YouTube sharing the anime video trailers that I want to show. So I'll go ahead and end this live stream because I was simulcasting over on YouTube as well. And after that, then we'll go ahead and get into the anime as well. Thank you guys again for tuning in. 5-Star Podsplash. My name is Andre Harris. Till next time, take care. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you can. It's only $6. I would greatly appreciate it. It is very expensive out here in San Diego. Any donation helps. Thank you so much again, you guys. Make sure to hit that follow button if you are not already following button. And again, we got the bonus content exclusive over on Kick. Make sure to hit that subscribe button over on Kick as well, because man, Kick gives the biggest payout anyway, so I definitely want more people tuning in over there than anywhere else. Shout out again till probably take a quick little 30-minute break, maybe an hour, and then I'll be right back with the anime reviews. Till then, I will see you guys in a little bit. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, this sounds like the ending theme, don't it? Like an anime going off. The ending theme to the I Shouldn't Be Alive anime. Yo, way too much on the mental. Get the brain of a schizo. Got my heartbeat changing the tempo. Crown Royal, I take it a sip slow. Gotta go one, hold on like it's in vogue. I just wanna make it official. Man, I'm good enough for anyone that ever tried to get me. Yo, so if you're really with me and you really not against me, I don't want you to get hit up. I'll show you what's the